Welcome to the second episode of the rating climb to 500 ELO. Now, I'm going to show one of my games that I played over 2 years ago when I was a mere 400. Our opponent starts with d4. We play e6. I liked playing unusual openings. Like, actually, if you want to get better at chess, you should play unusual openings, like switch it up and get some experience and get your opponents out of preparation. So they play c3, I play knight f6, g3, b6, bishop g5. Now, actually, this is pretty good so far. Actually, this is looking like a real game now, but in a weird move order. Now c5. I have done this even in my 1900 elo games. Actually, this is very good. Although I have not taken with the b pawn, which is kind of strange by me. But now I can play d5 here. This is looking very great. Knight c6. Now b4. Now, did this guy think to himself if b4 is a good move? Because like, if you play a move, you are intending it to be the best move, not just a lazy move. B4 is a square covered by 3 times. So, logically, you can take it and then take it with check, right? Okay, I played D5, keeping this pawn to hang, like, giving him some options, like, okay, bishop D2, bishop takes B4. Now I'm up a pawn, I'm better here. Although there is a little bit of tactics here that is too hard to see for 400, but actually it's just takes, and check, and white wins the knight. So I did blunder there, but okay. He attacks the bishop with a pawn. I take, and now I come in with the knight. Very good so far. Now I castle. Do I castle? No. You cannot not. You can give a check. You can look for checks, capture, and attacks. And I look at it. Queen a5 check. Very good move because it forces the king to move because our opponent blocks with the knight and it loses the knight. Now, nice. Black is totally winning here. Although this is not a smooth game. After white plays rook to c1, attacking the knight, you can discover check, and the king has to move or the piece has to be blocked. Knight a2 simply wins the rook, and it's one of the only active pieces white has. But I play d4. Okay, it attacks the queen and the defense knight. It's actually a good move. Now here, okay, white is getting tricky here. And the position is getting trickier because I have to defend my knight. Or I have to block, I have to give discover check. But I play queen b5. Yeah, you should look at checks. You should look at checks. You were in the best position to give a check. But okay, queen b5. I don't minimize chaos. And after e3, the trouble begins because queen b5 is not a safe square for the queen. Why? Because the opponent can get the tempo. Why? Because after e3, the queen is under attack. Definitely. But yeah, yeah, people don't see that far from in 400 elo. Yeah, and I just defend the pawn and hang the queen. Wow, mesmerizing stuff here. And to add salt to wound, I am losing a knight as well. So I defend it. There is nothing I can do actually. The opponent the opponent definitely did not see that as well, as he took just the pawn and hangs the bishop. Like not good for from white there. But yeah, I take the knight because I see that I can attack the queen and fork, but white did not see the hanging rook, so it took the knight. Alrighty, I give props to white that he's not blundering anything here. He's just winning here. After I take the bishop, rook b1, Now, what he should have done here was take the knight to the game and remove the guard, remove this knight from here. But he plays rook b1, and it allows me to castle, and now I have chances again. Now here, white plays f4, should definitely develop pieces and get the king out from danger. But he plays f4, trying to undermine this pawn here, which defends the knight, which is okay move. But now I get the rooks in, and now it starts to get tricky because the queen should look at you should look at the queen and see that okay, you can't go there, you can't go anywhere this file, you can go there, but then there is check. No, you cannot go to b4, you can go to a5 maybe, but then maybe the rook gets in, so it's difficult to say. But what I recommend here, I recommend going to a5, but white goes to b4, and now I have this check. But I don't find it. I play a tricky move, rook c4. Rook c4, I should have seen a fork. Our opponent just goes to c3 and hangs the queen. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Maybe it was a mouse slip, who knows. Okay, takes pawn, and now I attack the rook. I don't take the rook. Kind of strange. And here, after rook h2, after 2 seconds, I take the rook. So I was kind of blind for a minute there, but you see. But I'm totally winning here. Now, in order to win here, you have to look for checks, and you win the rook. That's simply it. I have a minute here, and it's not enough to win on. It's a minute is not enough to win for 400 elo players. Remember that from the first episode? So I panic and I take on g3. I trade everything off, but just not pre-moving enough. There is no skill for pre-moving for 400 players. And I have 3 seconds, like, yeah, and I lose on time. So definitely, what 400 elo players should do is enable pre-moves and just take this pawn and start pushing another one. I mean, I had I had this pawn there all along, and I should have pushed it with pre-moves, because there is nothing that white can do. You should minimize the chaos, bring your pieces back, defend them, and just push the pawn, and you are making a ladder mate sooner or later. So this was a very chaotic game, but here's the recap of what should have been done differently. Now the opening was very great from black, from me, because it reminds a real opening. And white should develop the knights, not push a pawn that can be taken, which is why the game was directed towards black, getting an advantage. And now look at the check, and there it goes. But I don't like, I don't like look for checks. Like, I don't play check because I get distracted sometimes, and you lose a queen, and so you should look as a 400 player. You should look at every piece that white has, and you should ignore the pawns. If you play queen to b4 5 after something like e3, a pawn moves. You should see that if a pawn moves, something changes. What changed here is that a door opened for the bishop. You will get this right sooner or later because you will get more experience at seeing opponent's pieces. But I like the way that I fought back. I like the way that black fought back. Castle, attack with the rook, just attack with rook, and just when they plunder the queen, just like I plundered my queen in the first episode, game was practically over. So definitely start pre-moving pawn pushes here, or look for, or just don't panic. Look for checks. I mean, don't look for checks like this because you will waste time. I will recommend taking this pawn and start pushing your own, defend pieces. That's the total point I have here. But yeah, if you found this episode useful, leave a like and I will do more of these. So see ya.